Hello everyone, welcome to this video. My name is Martina Vincenzi and I am the founder of the VIP Flight Attendant Academy Private Jet Coach. Today I would like to answer to one of the most common questions that people usually ask me regarding private jets. And the question is, what is the most common served drink and beverage that you actually serve on board a private jet? So contrary to the common belief, the first and number one beverage that we do serve on board the private jet is water, followed by coffee, and then we have also further away we have wines and cocktails. Before wines and cocktails, I would say soft drinks, so Diet Coke and Coke are also quite commonly served on board the private jet. So why is that so? It really depends on the cabin. It really depends on the people that are flying the private jet. It doesn't necessarily have to be that they have to drink alcohol every flight. In fact, it depends on the culture, it depends on the time of the day, it depends on the length of the flight, it depends on the atmosphere and the purpose of the flight itself. For example, if it is a business flight of three gentlemen who are discussing about business, they might, for sure, decide to go alcohol-free because they have to discuss about work and they want to be focused. On the other hand, if you have, five customers in their 30s flying to Ibiza, obviously they're going there for holiday, so obviously the mood would be like party, holiday, happy, and then therefore it's highly probable that they will drink alcohol during this flight. As I mentioned, also the nationality do play a big role. For example, Americans are more into cocktails while Europeans are more into wines. And then we have the Arabic customers, they usually don't drink alcohol. And then we have the Asian customers, they are more into maybe whiskey, so spirits, like whiskey and sake, rather than cocktails or wines. So it really depends on the background and the habits of the customer. But as I mentioned, it's definitely not an everyday thing. I would say that in between the alcoholic beverages, the number one is definitely champagne. I do serve champagne probably 6 flights out of 10, followed by red wine is also quite appreciated. And then on third position, I would say white wine. White wine is quite rare, I would say. Spirits and cocktails. This, according to my experience, it's something even more rare that happens. I would say 3 flights out of 10 that I do serve spirits like a whiskey or a brandy or cognac, or cocktails like usually the cocktails are just following the fashion of the moment. So for example, right now I would say it would be gin tonic. Sometimes you have also the classic like Bloody Mary or maybe mojito, but something pretty easy. My suggestion is if you want to surprise your cabin, you can actively promote a cocktail, something that you have just discovered or that you have invented. It's definitely a nice touch, but before doing that, make sure that you are fully aware of your cabin. So read your cabin properly. Check, by looking at them, observing them, and the non-verbal communication, if they would actually appreciate the cocktail or not. And if you think it's the case, definitely it's a good and professional thing from your side to offer that and to promote that actively. So that's, to help them enjoying the flight, having a good time. Definitely, yes. There are, it's definitely very important for a VIP flight attendant that you actually know how to serve wine and how to prepare cocktails, how to present a wine. This is something very important. But you shouldn't really stop on that only, because it's also important to know how to serve, for example, Arabic coffee. Arabic coffee do follow a specific procedure, and you better be aware with the procedure of the Arabic coffee. On my opinion, also tea. It's quite important to have quite a wide knowledge about tea service, because in some cultures It's really, really important. And for example, in Japan, they even have a degree about the tea ceremony. So it's important. Not that you need to know to do the like a pro, but at least that you have a knowledge of how to serve it, how to present it. Something that is really important, in my opinion, is espresso. So espresso is one of the pillars of the Italian culture, together with pizza and probably spaghetti. What do I mean? I mean that probably 99.9% of the population do drink espresso. What does espresso mean? Espresso means short. Short means small quantity. So an espresso, to be properly done, espresso is like 2 fingers quantity of coffee inside the coffee the coffee cup. So a very short one. Why? Because the shorter the coffee is, the strongest will be the effects and the taste. So more caffeine, therefore it will wake you up, it will release headache, because the caffeine has an action as a painkiller. It will be the strongest of the taste possible. So if they ask you expressively for espresso, just make sure you make a short one, and remember to warm up the cup in advance. So the cup must be hot. What I do, I usually pour some water in the cup, put it in the microwave for something like 45 seconds, then I get rid of the water, and then I use this hot cup for the espresso. Usually you have coffee machines on board, a private jet like an Nespresso, Lavazza or something similar, that they do work with coffee pots. So pretty easy, not much of a mess. And usually you serve the coffee with or without milk. This is a personal preference. With or without sugar, also this is a personal preference. However, for a good coffee service, you always bring something to eat. Coffee and chocolate are a definitely perfect match. So either, a square of dark chocolate, or maybe a cookie, or maybe chocolatino, or whatever you have. Amaretto is also quite common. That's definitely a good touch, a good, the attention to details that we are supposed to have every day, all the time on board a private jet. Coffee is, the real coffee is supposed to be served in a glass cap. By glass cap, I mean a transparent cap, because the glass can actually enhance the taste and the flavor of the coffee. However, we are on board a private jet, we don't have all the equipment that a restaurant has, so we need to use whatever we have. But this is how it is supposed to be. Well, I hope that this video helps to clarify some of your doubts. I am very happy when you reach out to me asking me questions, and please feel free to reach out. I'm very happy to interact with all of you.